Hey guys, what's up? It's Langley with Langley's Yoga Life, and today I'm here to bring you a beginner's yoga flow. And if you're wondering, what are you doing in this chair contraption? Well, if you watched my introducing me video, you will know that I was going to be moving, and so I am done moving. I'm now living with my brother for a year while my boyfriend is in Korea. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and that's also why I wasn't able to post a video on Tuesday, so I really apologize. This moving process has been absolutely crazy, so I hope you forgive me for missing one of my days. But yeah, so I really hope that you enjoy this beginner's yoga flow and enjoy practicing with me. If you do, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and also click the bell notification so you can get notified every single time that I make a video. We are going to start on our backs today, so go ahead and find yourself there, and I will meet you at the mat. Alright, so we are transitioning onto our backs. You can bring the bottoms of the feet together and bring the knees apart. Hands can be at your belly, overhead, down by your side, resting on your thighs, just wherever you want them to be. You can take this time to close your eyes and just start to tune in to your breath. Let any stress that you may have go, whether that stress be mental stress or stress in the body. Taking this time to observe the sounds that we hear around us, whether it be a car going by, a dog scratching, any of those things. Just observe them and then take this time to tune them out, let them go, and focus back on your breath. And while we're here, we're actually going to do a full mental scan of the body to really bring awareness into any parts that may not feel so great. We're just going to observe how everything feels right now. So let's go ahead and do that, and we're going to start with the toes. So bring awareness into your toes, the bottoms of the feet, tops of the feet, your shins, knees, your thighs, your pelvis, and your hips. Bringing awareness to the belly and the chest, feeling the heart center. Turning around, bringing awareness to your lower back, and then making your way up the back to your shoulders, tops of your arms, elbows, your forearms. Bring awareness to your wrists, tops of the hands, palms, and each individual finger. And now bring awareness to your neck. Noticing your jaw. Notice if you're clenched. If so, release. Drop the tongue. And now to the face. Bring awareness to your chin, your lips, nose, eyes, ears, your cheeks, forehead, and then the very top, the crown of the head. And just feeling this sensation of full awareness in the body. Maybe throughout this scan you found a few places that don't feel so great, or maybe just feel tight or stiff in some parts. And that's okay, and just observe that, and knowing not to force yourself into any position, especially in those places that don't feel so great. This is a beginner's class. We're going to keep it light, but maybe you are an advanced practitioner just wanting to slow it down a little bit. But if you want to keep the practice active, you can do that too. It's your practice, so make it however you want it to be. And now let's go ahead and we're going to start to move. So you can extend this little left leg forward, and we're going to bring the right knee up to meet us. So hug it in for a moment, and then we're just going to make some circles here. The circle can be whichever direction you want it to be. We're just opening up that right hip. And then you can switch direction. And now let's go ahead and let's bring that right knee down. The left knee comes in center. Hug it in. And then let's create those circles. Notice what you feel. Notice if there's a difference from the right side to the left. Switching direction. And now let's go ahead and release. From here, we're going to make our way up to a nice comfortable seated position. That position can be however you want it to be. Hands can be resting down at the knees, maybe palms face up. You can take this moment to close your eyes for a moment. Listening to your breath. And then from here, let's go ahead, take a nice big inhale, reach the arms up high. You can clasp the hands and bring the palms face up. Take a big stretch here. And then let's go ahead and send it down. Shake it out. And now we are going to inhale and bring the arms back behind us. Lift your chest. And then hands can come forward. We're going to walk the hands forward here. It does not matter how far forward your hands go. If they still feel like they're kind of close to you, that's okay. No worries. Just finding this stretch, this release. And now we're going to walk the hands back up to meet us. And make our way into a tabletop position, not staying there too long. Once we're there, let's go ahead and transfer to down dog. So curling the toes, sending the hips up high. If you want to bend the knees, maybe one knee at a time or both knees at the same time, you can. Think about really spreading the fingers here. Now, if you feel like you are in a little bit of a plank, maybe in this kind of position, then you want to think about starting to just sink the hips and lowering the heart center down towards the shins. Now, of course, the chest is not going to go all the way down to the shins, but just feeling that activation and that movement will help you find that shape. And now let's go ahead, walk the feet up to meet the hands. We're going to inhale, halfway lift, and there's a few different variations that you can take. So your halfway lift may look like palms at the thighs, palms at the shins, or fingertips down at the mat. Wherever you are, you want to maintain the lift in the chest and keep the spine nice and long. And then from here, we're going to start to fold and grab onto opposite elbows for ragdoll. If you want to sway a little side to side, you can. And then we're going to slowly roll ourselves up to standing. Oh yeah. So go ahead, once you're there, if you want to loop the shoulders a little bit, you can. Maybe move the neck around some. And now we're going to go ahead and make our way into some sun salutations. Now, if you're not quite sure what a sun salutation is, basically it is a movement of postures, also known as a flow. You start at standing, go through that flow with a vinyasa, which I will show you that as well, and then you come back to standing. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that started. Now you can have the feet flush together or hips distance apart, whatever just feels more balanced for you. And let's go ahead, take a nice big inhale, and we're going to reach the arms up high to the sky, letting the gaze follow. And then exhale, forward fold. Hands can come down just as far as they want to. Now inhale, halfway lift, your version. And then let's plant the palms, step the feet back to plank. And then lower down to the belly. Good. Tops of the feet can come onto the mat. We're going to inhale, lift the chest, baby cobra. And then curl the toes, send it up, down dog. If you need to bend the knees a little bit here, you can. If the heels do not touch the mat, that is perfectly fine. We'll save that for another day. And now let's go ahead, look forward. We're going to walk the feet up. Inhale, halfway lift once again. And then exhale, let's fold. Inhale, bring it up. And then hands come down to heart center. Good, now we're going to do that one more time. So let's go ahead, lift. And fold. Inhale, halfway. Plant the palms and send the feet back. Let's go ahead, lower down. This will be that vinyasa that we talked about. Inhale, lift. Curling the toes, sending it back to down dog. Finding whatever little movements feel good for you and your body. And now let's look forward, send it back up. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach it up. And then exhale to heart center. Beautiful. And now I think we can get into one sun salutation B, which is just a little different than the one that we just did. It has a little bit more involved. So let's go ahead and let's test it out. So instead of starting at standing, we are actually going to make our way into chair pose on our first inhale. So bend the knees, sink your hips back, and let's reach the arms up high. Big breath in, engaging your core, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the palms. We're going to send the feet back. Now, there are 3 different vinyasas in the sun salutation B. So if you want to just skip and go to down dog instead, we are all going to be there anyway. So no worries. Or if you want to go for that vinyasa, lowering down. Inhale, lift. And down dog. Like I said, we were all going to meet there. Now from here, we're going to find ourselves warrior 1 on the right side. So pivot this left foot to an angle. Toes facing that left corner of the mat. Bring the right foot up to meet the right hand. Back heel is down. If it were lifted, then we would be in a high lunge. But with warrior, that back heel is down. Let's send the chest up and reach the arms up high. Big full breath in. And then let's fold it down. That right foot can go back to meet the left. If you want to go for down dog, you can. If you want to go for the vinyasa, we'll lower. Inhale to baby cobra. And shift to down dog. Beautiful. Now same thing on the other side. Pivoting that right foot. Left foot comes up. Send the chest forward. And then reach the arms up high. Good. Arms come down. Last vinyasa here. Step it back. And lower. Inhale, lift. And down dog. Beautiful. We got this. Let's take a little moment to breathe and connect. And then look forward. We're going to walk the feet up. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Now back into chair pose or Utkatasana in Sanskrit. Sink the hips down and reach the arms up. And now to standing we go. Beautiful. Shake it out. You did good. Give yourself a little pat on the back if you want to. And now from here we are going to make our way onto our mats, which I guess we're already on our mats, but you'll see what I mean. So let's go ahead, bring the arms up, and let's just get a big stretch here. Big stretch up today. And let's lower it down to a fold. And this forward fold can be however you want it to be. So if you want to go back into ragdoll, you can. If you want to bring the palms underneath the feet, you can do that. Arms behind the legs. Whatever feels good. And then we're going to plant the palms. Let's step the feet back into a plank. And now from here, we're going to lower all the way down to the belly. And shift over to the right side. So this right arm can come forward. So we're just laying on the right side of our body here. Then from there, if you want to bend at your elbow and just kind of rest your head onto your hand, you can. Now we're not super duper about to go to sleep relaxed here. So if you put too much weight into the wrist, it'll start to feel that. So still really staying strong here and staying activated. And now let's go ahead, we're going to make our way into a nice little leg stretch. So we're going to send this left leg up high, and the left hand can be down at the mat. Really engaging your core. We're just going to hold it here for a few breaths. Notice that this is a balance. So if you kind of start to wobble back and forth, that's okay, no worries. Taking a few moments to really feel this in the leg. If you do want to stretch the arm out and rest the head down, you can. Just a few more breaths here. And now let's bring that left leg down. We're going to come onto our bellies and switch sides. I am going to get myself up and move over. But you just roll on over to your left side. So now that right leg is on top. You can rest your head on your hand. Right hand can be down. And now let's go ahead and lift this right leg up. Taking a few breaths, really activating through the legs. And yes, through both of them. If you want to take a moment to point and flex the foot, you can, just to switch it up. Maybe do a few little ankle rolls. And then resting the head down if you like. No judgment if you are wobbling back and forth. Yoga is a process. It's a journey. So wherever you are right now, you could be in a totally different spot in a week, a month, a year. And then we can send that right leg down. Let's roll on over to our bellies. And from here, find a baby cobra or extending the arms, upward facing dog. And curl the toes, send it back to down dog. Take a few breaths. Letting the mind be empty of all thoughts. And then from here, we're going to walk the hands to meet our feet. And then very carefully rolling ourselves up to standing. All right, and from there, we're going to make our way into another balance. This will be a pyramid pose. This is a standing pose here. And from the back of our mat, we're going to go ahead and pivot this left foot to an angle like we did in the warrior pose for Sun Salutation B. And then we're just going to step this right foot. We're not going super far forward like into a warrior. But we're just going to bring it, for me it's about 2 feet away. I'm 5'2", so it's different for everyone though. So just find wherever you're comfortable. And we're going to try to keep the hips nice and square here. So hips facing forward, not out over to the side, not even to an angle, but trying to keep them nice and square as much as possible. And then from here, let's reach the arms up high. Take a big breath in. Drawing the belly in, and we're going to hinge at the hips, sticking the tailbone out when we do that, and start to fold. If you have blocks, mine are packed up right now, but if you have blocks, then you can place the hands at the blocks. If you don't have blocks, maybe use books, boxy kind of things, anything that would work for you, or just having the hands down at the mat. And let's take another inhale, so a halfway lift, and then fold, just as low as the body wants you to go. You can keep the hands down, or if you want to bring them behind the back, grabbing onto opposite elbows, you can. Taking a few breaths here. Once again, keeping the hips square. Now notice if your shoulders are starting to go in towards your neck, if you feel like you're collapsing in any kind of way. We want to have a lot of space for the neck, so observe that. Grounding through the feet. And then let's go ahead, if the arms are behind the back, we're going to bring them back down. Inhale halfway, and then lift. From there, we can step the right foot back, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So pivoting the right foot now. Left foot goes forward. Once again, just take a moment to find where you're comfortable. Notice if you need to move around in any kind of way. Hips are facing that front foot. Let's go ahead and reach the arms up. And hinge at the hips. Fold. Exhale while you do this movement. Beautiful. Hands come down to the mat or to a block. Finding this pyramid pose. Once you're there, if you want to bring the arms behind the back, I'm going to extend them this time. Just finding whatever pyramid pose you want. There's a lot of different ways that this can look. And then let's very carefully release. We're going to inhale halfway lift. And then let's reach it up. Good, now we're going to step to the front of our mat. Shake it out. And then from here, let's go ahead. We're just going to bend the knees, sink the hips. Let's plant the palms and then find ourselves in a tabletop position. So both the hands and the knees are on our mats. Wrists directly underneath shoulders. Knees are right in line with the hips. And from here, a favorite pose. Let's go ahead and sink back for child's pose. Extending the arms forward. Hips coming towards the feet. Give your body a rest, a time to relax. Know that that is always okay. And from here, we're going to go ahead and look forward. And we're going to keep the forearms down at the mat, and we're going to make our way into a dolphin pose. So now from here, shifting forward. You can walk the knees back just a little bit if you need to. And this is very similar to tabletop, except we are on our forearms instead of just on our wrists. And now from here, also similar to a down dog, we're going to curl the toes and send the hips up high. So take a moment if you want to stretch it out. Gazing down at the toes, you can. If you want to keep gaze down at the mat, you can do that too. Take a moment to walk the feet in just as close as they want to go. And we're going to take a few breaths here, really pressing away from the mat. Notice if you're starting to sink down. You want to avoid that. We're not melting into the mat, but we're pressing away, staying active. Let's go for about 3 more breaths, drawing the belly in, hips up high. 2 more. 1 more. And then let's bring it down. Good. Another child's pose here. This time, if you want to bring the palms together and bend at the elbows for a reverse prayer, you can. This is another time if you want to give yourself a little pat on the back. You can. And then we're going to release out of this child's pose. Let's take a moment to lift up into a tabletop. From tabletop, we're going to cross the feet, rolling over the legs. Let's bring it forward, and let's just go straight onto our backs. So bring it down. You can hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Rock a little side to side if you like to. And then we're going to go ahead and extend the legs out long to the end of our mats. Arms can go down by your side. All together, let's take one full final breath in. And when you are ready for your exhale, fully release everything out from the mouth. Beautiful. Keeping the eyes closed. Finding this final posture, Shavasana. Walking away from this practice with a newfound love for ourselves, a newfound love for our body and who we are. And may you continue that after this practice. That love for yourself. I think that is always the most important thing in life, is to, more than anything, love yourself. I want to thank you all so much for joining me in this practice and trusting me and leading you in it. Namaste.